Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this new session for Daily Current Affairs. Today we'll discuss important updates for the day 10th of September 2020, and these are set of 10 important questions that we're going to discuss. You can take a note of all the important information delivered here. So we'll begin with the words of the day. There are total 5 words that will help to boost your vocabulary. So let us get into the session. The first word coming up is surreptitious. It means kept secret, especially because it would not be approved of. Hindi meaning is gupt, synonyms are sneaky, concealed, antonyms are blatant and honest. Sentence that can be formed for this word is low wages were supplemented by surreptitious payments from tradesmen. Second word is wrangle. It means a dispute or argument, typically one that is long and complicated. Hindi meaning for this word is takrar. Synonyms are quarrel and squabble. Antonyms are agreement and harmony. Sentence that can be formed for this word is an insurance wrangle is holding up compensation payments. Third word is bumptious. It means irritatingly self-assertive. Hindi meaning for this word is durarahi. Synonyms are arrogant and conceited. The antonyms are self-effacing and reticent. So the sentence that can be formed for this word is an impossibly bumptious and opinionated boy. Fourth word is mercurial. It means subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. Hindi meaning is chanchal. The synonyms are capricious and fickle. Antonyms are steady and stable. So the sentence that can be formed for this word is his mercurial temperament ached a lot of people. Fifth and the last word of the day is dumbfound. It means greatly astonish or amaze. Hindi meaning for this word is achambhe mein dalna. The synonyms are startle and stagger. The antonyms are aware and calm. So the sentence that can be formed for this word is she was dumbfounded at the sight that met her eyes. That's all for the words of the day. Let us move to the section questions of the day. The first question coming up is recently, the Union Minister for Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare has virtually inaugurated 22 bamboo clusters in how many Indian states? Answer is option A 9. So these 9 states are Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Assam, Nagaland, Tripura, Uttarakhand, and Karnataka. So, a logo for the National Bamboo Mission, which is also known as NBM, was also released, and the Indian Forest Act 19 and 27 was amended in the year 2017 to remove bamboo from the category of trees, and 10,000 new farmer producer organizations known as FPOs will be formed in next 5 years, and the National Bamboo Mission, that is NBM, was launched in the year 2018-19. So the new logo portrays a bamboo comb in the center of a circle composed of half an industrial wheel and half farmers, depicting the objectives of NBM appropriately. So the green and yellow color of the logo symbolizes bamboo, uh, after termed as green gold. Okay, the bamboo is also known as green gold. Moving on to the second question. Which one of the following states has decided to start Sanskrit Grams program? Answer is option B Uttarakhand. So the decision was taken after noting significant process in a pilot program to teach Sanskrit to residents of two villages in Uttarakhand. The aim of the program is to teach people of villages Sanskrit regularly, and these villages were selected at the meeting of the Uttarakhand Sanskrit Academy, also you can say USA, uh, and they also decided that the Uttarakhand Sanskrit Academy will be renamed as Uttarakhand Sanskrit Sansthanam, okay, USS. And if you talk about the language of Sanskrit, then it is the second official language in Uttarakhand after Hindi. And Article 345 of the Constitution deals with official language or language of a state. So Sanskrit is an old Indo-Aryan language, you know that, in which the most ancient documents, Vedas, are composed in what is called Vedic Sanskrit, and Sanskrit is a classical and an eighth schedule long language of the Constitution of India. Third question is, Rogan art is concerned with which one of the following Indian states? Answer is option C, Gujarat. So the word Rogan, okay, Rogan means oil in Persian language, and with origins in Persia, it came to Kutch district of Gujarat around 300, you can say, years ago. And this rare craft is practiced by a lone Muslim family, the Khatris of Nirona village, okay, Nirona village of Gujarat in the Kutch district. So, Rogan art is a form of textile painting which uses a rich, brightly colored paint made from castor oil and natural colors. So, the patterns in this art are like the intricate motifs, geometric flowers, peacocks, the tree of life, etc., are drawn from the historical figures and folk culture of the Kutch region. And if we talk about the recognition of this art, then the tree of life, okay, I'm writing here tree of life. Tree of Life design is the most famous design in the Rogan painting. It is inspired by traditional Persian designs. Also, there's an important thing you should note here that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, gifted Rogan paintings to the US President Barack Obama in the year 2014 when he visited USA. So, the nine artists from the Khatri families have six national awards, okay, six national awards and six state awards between them, or you can say among them. Fourth question is, what is the name of the software that has been banned by Railway Protection Force, RPF, which is a common name, which was used for cornering confirmed railway reservation? Answer is option A, Real Mango. So it is an illegal software developed for booking tatkal tickets, okay. So this software used to bypass CAPTCHA, and it used to synchronize bank OTP. Okay, bank OTP. OTP stands for one time password with help of a mobile app and feeds it to the requisite form automatically. Also, it autofills the passenger details and payment details in the forms. Again, it also used to log in IRCTC website through multiple IRCTC IDs. So all these processes booked tickets illegally, and this creates the possibility of ticket hoarding and black marketing of the tickets. So the information supplied by RPF, Railway Protection Force, will help the Center for Railway Information System, which is you must have seen on the IRCTC website, which is written as CRIS, which stands for Center for Railway Information System, to strengthen security features in the passenger reservation system, which is also known as PRS in the common terminology. So I used a word CAPTCHA. So CAPTCHA stands for, I'm writing this word CAP, CTCHA. CAPTCHA stands for completely automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. So Center for Railway Information System was set up as a society in July in the year 1986 by Ministry of Railways, and it is the IT wing, Information Technology wing of Indian Railways. Headquarter is in New Delhi, okay? And RPF is a security force established by the Railway Protection Force Act 1957. Moving on to the fifth question. Recently, the first real test flight of the scaled model of the Dash aircraft was conducted by researchers from TU Delft University. So fill in the blank out of the given options. The answer is option B, Flying V. So the researchers did this with the help of engineers and a drone pilot too. And this Flying V is a futuristic and fuel-efficient long-distance aircraft that could one day carry passengers in its wings. Yes, you heard right, in its wings. And the Flying V design, which derives its name from noticeable V shape or V letter shape, or you can say alphabet shape, integrates the passenger cabin, the cargo hold, and the fuel tanks in the wings. That's a remarkable discovery that they have did. And the Flying V project was first presented at the 100th anniversary of the Dutch Airlines KLM which has also been a partner in the project. Okay, KLM. Sin, which has been in the which has been the partner of this project since its beginning in the year 2019, and various business partners including Airbus, which is an aerospace company, are now involved in this project. Sixth question is the CCEA has approved. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved monetization of assets of which one of the following public sector undertaking through Infrastructure Investment Trust InvIT model. Answer is option D, Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. So this is the first time any PSU in power sector will undertake asset recycling by monetizing its assets through the InvIT model and using this process to fund the new and under construction optical capital projects. So Power Grid, as mentioned in the last option, is a public limited company under the administrative control of the Ministry of Power, Government of India. Okay, I'm writing as MOP for Ministry of Power and Government of India, and this started its commercial operation in the year 1992 93 and is today a Maharatna company engaged in the business of power transmission. Seventh question is which of the following statement or statements is are true or correct about the Committee on Content Regulation in Government Advertising. First statement is the committee was formed by the government as per the directions of the Supreme Court of India in 2015. Second statement is it aims to look into content regulation of government funded advertisements of all media platforms. Third statement is as per the guidelines of the Supreme Court, all states are mandated to set up their respective three-member committees, but none of the state has set it up yet. Answer is option A, 1 and 2 only. First statement and the second statement is correct here, and third one is false because uh, till now Karnataka, Goa, Mizoram, and Nagaland, these four states have already constituted state level three member committees, and the state government of Chhattisgarh has given its consent for the to the central committee to monitor the content of their government advertisements. So it was mentioned that none of the state has set it up yet, but it is wrong. Four states have set the committee, which are Karnataka, Goa, Mizoram, and Nagaland. So as per the directions of the Supreme Court on 13th May 2015, the Government of India on 6th of April 2016 has set up a three-member body consisting of persons with unimpeachable neutrality and impartiality and who have excelled in their respective fields to look into the content regulation of government funded advertisements of all media platforms. Eighth question is which one of the following agencies will be leading the procurement and supply of coronavirus vaccines to ensure fast, safe, and equitable access of initial doses to everyone? Answer is option B, UNICEF. UNICEF stands for the United Nations Children's Fund and it is the world's largest single vaccine buyer, procuring more than 2 billion doses of various vaccines annually for routine immunization and outbreak response on behalf of nearly 100 countries. So, UNICEF will lead efforts to procure and supply doses of COVID 19 vaccines on behalf of COVAX Global Vaccines Facility for 92, okay, 92 low and lower middle income countries whose vaccine purchases will be supported by the mechanism by UNICEF. Ninth question is in which one of the following Indian states a 13 million year old fossil of a newly discovered ape species have been unearthed recently? Answer is option B, Uttarakhand. So this is the earliest known ancestor of the modern day gibbon and the finding published in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B fills a major void in the ape fossil record and it provides important uh, new evidence about when the ancestors today's gibbon migrated to Asia from Africa. So the fossil are completely lower molar. Okay, the fossil is a teeth actually belongs to a preciously unknown genus and species Capi ramaragesius, and represents the first new fossil ape species discovered at the famous fossil site of Ramnagar in Uttarakhand in nearly a century. 10th and the last question is, recently with which two countries does India organize the first trilateral dialogue virtually? Answer is option A, Australia and France. So this meeting was co-chaired by Foreign Secretary of India Harsh Vardhan Shringla, and then Secretary General of French Ministry for Europe and Secretary of Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. The focus of the dialogue was on enhancing cooperation in the Indo Pacific region, and the topics that were discussed in the meetings were economic and geostrategic challenge and cooperation in the Indo Pacific in the time of COVID-19 pandemic, and cooperation of on marine global MGC, marine global commons, and potential areas for practical cooperation at the trilateral and regional level. So that's all for the session, and if you think this video helped raise your awareness about important updates and happenings around the world, please leave a like on this video. And if you have any suggestions or you want to give any type of comments, you can pin us in the comment section and subscribe the channel for daily and important updates. Thank you very much for listening to me. Have a very good day ahead.